Now, people that are journalists and writers often like stimulants. They often like Adderall. Adderall is a big issue for journalists. How much experience do you have with Adderall?
I've never used it.
It's supposed to be amazing. Me neither. I've
never used it precisely because I know I would love it, right? Like I would. I've got a young relative who's prescribed it, and there've been times when I've been yes, he's often tried to not spike me, but like get me to join him. And
Johann, this is for you.
But Adderall opens up a whole other thing, right? Which is there's what you're talking about again, which is. Look, I'm not against people, obviously not against people using drugs in order to enhance their lives. Look, before I came here, I drank enough caffeine to kill a whole fucking field of cows, right? As your viewers can probably tell, I personally limit my stimulant use because I know I can tell that,
yeah,
and I can tell that I could easily, a bit like what I did with the modafinil. When I started using that modafinil, I got that sense. I just used it every day for 3 months, right, which was a ludicrous thing to do. But I think in terms of stimulants, there's a whole debate that needs to be had. Now I'm going to write about this at some point, but 1 in 10 13-year-old boys in this country is being given a stimulant drug, right? In any given year.
Right, for ADD or ADHD or...
I mean, that is horrifying.
It's crazy.
Right, 30% of children in foster care in the United States are being given at least one psychiatric drug.
Yeah.
These are not children in the main who are, have some biological insanity. These are kids who've been fucking abused and treated abysmally. And what do? We drug them to shut them up, right?
Well, it's also children have a lot of energy and it's not easy to control them. And so they decide that these children have something wrong with them.
Do you know, I went to this Amish village for Lost Connections, but one of the things that was really interesting, there are these people who argue, and there needs to be more research on this, but Amish children don't get ADHD, right? And there's this big debate, what's going on there? And so there's one argument, which is then obviously not exposed to digital media, which may, and there's some evidence of just speaking to Professor Stephen Lee here.
Yeah, but people were getting loads of ADHD when I was in school, and there was
exactly. So that's just because I spoke to a guy at UCLA, Professor Stephen Lee, showing there's some effect of digital media, but it's not massive, right?
Right.
I think what's happening from the very small amount of research you did talking to the Amish is, I'd say to them, do you have kids who don't want to sit still? And they go, yeah, we'll let them go off and go fishing. Right, the Amish don't want to make you sit still for 8 hours a day. Right, there's nothing in their society that I'm not idealizing the Amish. There's problems with
getting a child to sit still for 8 hours a day.
It's insane.
Just like trying to get a puppy to sit still for 8 hours a day.
Exactly, that's exactly the right analogy. What we do to our children, we try to deaden them and discipline them to cope and thrive in a deadened and disciplined, in inverted commas, economy.